I think it's just about time to reveal the first game, but first, let me just check and make sure that everything is fine. Okay, I believe so. Crappy my love, crappy my life. Stop dancing and show us what life is all about. Take us to the GM reveal, let's go. Oh no, Dog of Bay, yeah. Let me tell you, that was a very special game that we had last week. Waffle Fox Brie, that was fantastic. Could she be coming back today? I don't know, maybe. But you know who the first GM is? It's just lovely old me, okay? It's little old me. Hello there, everybody. I'm your GM for the day. And if you want, you can smooch me or give me beautiful presents. I like those. Chiron, thank you for the 500 bits. That was a beautiful present. Mwah. Yeah. I've been running Kusogrand8 for a long time, and I actually found a game 9 days ago, and I was like, oh, this could be a lot of fun. 8 or 9 days, something like that. And then I gave it out, and someone's like, I think I've seen this before. And I went and looked. We've had this game in Kuso 5, and I was like, ah, crap. I'm not doing anything new. But seeing it is different from playing it, so you're all gonna still get to go through it. We have, for the Famicom Disk System, Patlabor, the mobile police. Now, Pat is going to be doing labor over the next hour or so. We will see how far the players are able to make it through here. Whoever makes the most progress takes first place. Whoever comes in last only gets 2 points, but this is a 10-point match for the players. That means that we likely are not going to... well, we're not having anybody get eliminated because of this match. And honestly, you know... that's fine. Welcome to Kusogrand8. Sometimes people don't get eliminated, you know? Well, I'm just working on getting everything captured. Oh, hello there, Corndan. Are you...
I heard you commentate.
Yeah. And I love having you here for commentary. We didn't do Don't Make Us Bored this week for... a lot of reasons.
Like 5,000 reasons.
Yeah, let's just say that most people, including us, canceled multiple times. And it just ended up being one of those things that it's like, we'll do it next week. I mean, Novasol wants to show off Meow Wolf for Don't Make Us Bored, and I want to see Meow Wolf. The mini golf.
Meow Wolf is a fever dream.
Yeah, I've been to Omega Mart in Vegas. That was a blast.
Then you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah, I fully expect a fever dream, and I'm ready for that. Or I will be ready this next week. We'll probably have Don't Make Us Bored on Friday. Yeah, next Friday, everybody, so that we can specifically go mini golfing. We need mini golf. Well, Corndad, do you know anything about Patlabor?
I do. Oh. I have watched the whole series.
Okay, I've never seen the anime. I do know some of the... Oh yeah, somebody was commenting that the Patlabor screen looks like a robot dabbing, and I kind of agree with that. Yeah, it was a very, very good thing to point out, and it made me laugh. Let me get this music up, and let's see how it is. Here we are. We've got Patlabor. Yay, Needsel, thank you for resubscribing. Sober Dwarf as well. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I got the horizontal key up on this on Discord, on Twitch, as well as Jack Danubis. He's a little bit hard to see in dark mode, but he's so good. I might have to like add a halo around his head so that you can see him even in dark mode. And he needs a halo. He looks amazing.
So, if you like Gundam in a weird way, right? You probably would like Patlabor as a show. They're not exactly the same, but you know they both kind of follow the hey cool robots.
Yeah. What is?
You know, Gundam is war is bad, and Patlabor is police robots are kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, oh wait, you're RoboCop guy. This is basically a different RoboCop.
Which is kind of different RoboCop.
It's Gungan Cop. That's what we've got here.
Kinda.
Yeah. Okay, I'm checking to see if the players are ready to go. We can get started a little bit early if they are. It looks like 2 of our players are good to roll. Feel free to remove your picks, BTW. That way they know that they don't have to keep them up. I'll probably need to recapture because capturing when it's just black to the very edges of the screen means that it's going to be wrong. Welcome to my life. I'm fine. I'll deal with it when we get there. But yeah, the players are putting their names in. We've got Jakazam Mazre or Mazer. I don't know. I think that we've had this discussion multiple times. And Specchio and Yagamoth, all 4 of these players are strong, and I'm really interested to see how they do. Have we done the prediction in chat? Yes, the prediction is running, so use all of your channel points, put them in on your friends, your enemies, whoever you think is going to kick butt. Otherwise, I told the players basically nothing, except there will be freeing hostages. And let me see if Yagamoth is ready. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We're starting a little bit early, so like, I'm not in a rush. Come on. Like, we've got 4 matches here. We've got 4 Pats who are going to labor for us. You'll have to tell us a little bit about, like, the anime, especially if there's anything, like, really good, or if it's a sort of generic Gungan Pat labor type game. I don't know. I don't know anything about the show.
We'll talk about it a little bit.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm having a pretty good day. Yeah, I had visitors, or a visitor come up yesterday. He quit his job on Thursday because he's starting a new job this next Monday. I mean, he gave 2 weeks notice, and they're like, that means you're working all the way through the next Friday, right? And he's like, no, because today's Thursday and I'm giving you a 2-week notice, so I'm leaving on a Thursday. So that I can have a day off. Yeah. So, yeah, he came out. We got to hang out last night. Just watch some Taskmaster because I love it. It's a lot of fun. And I think everybody is good to go. So, awesome. They are allowed to hover over the game start. It looks like everybody is there except for Jakazam. It'll take like 2 button presses to get there, so I'm just going to get started. Thank you again, Corndan. I forget, we've got the lovely Timer and Capdown bot in Discord, who's also named Crappy, and you put Crappy together to help us run these. Good. So best of luck to the players. We're doing the countdown. Everybody spam all of your best robot, cop, or horizontal key emotes. You can spam Jacked Anubis as well now that we have him. And I
mean, you might as well.
Yeah, come on. He's jacked. He's Anubis. He's great. As soon as I see movement in the first stage, I will start our timer. First, we get a good face, though. Oh, never mind. Training area.
Training area.
And there we go. Welcome, everybody. I am recapturing right now. Oh, my gosh.
So I don't know much about the game, right? Okay. But I do know a bit about the show, right? So basically, you know, we've gotten real good at, automating things. And so there's a bunch of like construction vehicles. We don't really want cranes and all of that, right? There's basically these construction vehicles called labors.
Okay.
Right? And they're created to do like aid the community, do the mundane tasks, like all the things we don't want to do, right? Because you know what? I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's true. Let Pat do it. Come on, Pat.
Yeah, well, so PAT labor stands for patrol labors.
Ah,
right?
okay.
They're the police labors, right? So they're piloted giant robots, right, that the police use to catch criminals.
Gotcha. Now, they have to figure out how to actually select the labor, and they have to select both labors, and then the game will let them start. It's a little confusing. I told them that they could hop into the first level to test out controls, and I don't think any of them did. Because they were like, I want to go into this knowing absolutely nothing. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. It'll take them a minute to actually start the game. It's cool.
Be right back.
All right. Well, we have 2 players into the first level and our 3rd player getting in there right now. Of course, the training course at the beginning may or may not be useful. It does appear to be mostly for points and probably doesn't matter a whole lot. Other than that. Now, if you recognize this music, it's actually on the Kusogrand8 playlist, so you may act like that wouldn't be too surprising if you've heard this tune a few times. I just forgot that it was from this game. Yeah. And the hostages are so small, but right now you can see Specchio is in the lead with 2 hostages collected. The counter is to the right of the plus sign that is up at the top of the screen. What does the plus mean? I couldn't figure that out because I didn't play this for a super long time. But there is a plus, and it may or may not be used at some point, and that is pretty cool. Other functions of this game include breaking boxes by whacking them 5 or 6 times, jumping on boxes repeatedly in order to break them, and collecting hostages. Each level is tracked based off of the number of hostages that they have collected, by the way. Whoever does collect the most in a level will be in the lead. And it looks like most of the players have 2 hostages freed so far. Specchio picking up an additional 2 before you can go fight the boss. You have to, per the game, go and collect 6 hostages. Pew, 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 pew. Oh my gosh, chat, you're right. The concrete looks like Cheez-Its. I want to eat it. Oh, Cheez-Its are way too good for what they are, which is just cheesy crackers. But they're so good. Specchio getting into another building. There are multiple doors. There are multiple places to go. I think Specchio has already been to the left of this area. Specchio is like, I could get through this. Yeah, if you jump on the box enough, it'll break. I bet one more jump. Yep, Specchio broke the box. Okay. It's about 3 jumps per box, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Yagamoth also has 4 hostages. It's very much a tie at this point. And we will see various amounts of progress. So all of them are playing with the very first of the PAT labors here, the patrol labors, which this one has higher energy. I think that it jumps a little bit higher. The other one deals more damage but has less health. Jakazam is going to be playing as the second labor in just a second. Whenever you die with the first one, you switch to the other one. If you die, it's game over, and the players will have to either save or continue after that. I was like, you all have 10 points. I'm not going to tell you how the system works. The truth is, I don't know how the save and continue systems work, so I'm just going to let them figure it out. The 12 PAT labors of Heracles. Oh my gosh, Psycho Volpes. That is a pretty good... I mean, it's an aged reference. And by aged, I mean by like a few thousand years, couple thousand. But it's a good one. Pew, 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 pew. I enjoy the sound effects in the game, and like it actually is kind of fun to play, even if the first level just feels a little uninspired. There we go, Yagamoth using the second labor to jump up and down on the box. You can tell that they're on the second labor right now because it's kind of pink instead of white. At least I think so. I'm a little bit colorblind. I believe that's pink, though. And that is the second character in the game. Also, you can tell because they only have 8 energy instead of 10. However, you also start with more ammunition with the second labor, and that is a beneficial thing. If you want to use a gun instead of your baton, just hit start, move over to the gun that very much looks like a revolver. Yeah. And chat is saying the second robot has a better gun. Okay. Yeah, Novasol is in chat. Novasol actually helped test the game out for me when I completely forgot that we had this in a previous Kusogrand8. It's been years. We've had a lot of games. I wanted to do something new, something fresh, but no. Not. Patlabor always comes back. Novasol did indeed play through the entire game. Honestly, I don't know if we've ever had any of the players or testers get through the entire game. Possibly Flannel Cat has played the whole thing. She said that she's played Patlabor, but yeah, it's pretty fun. And per Murray in chat, apparently the labors actually do use mecha-sized revolvers, which is kind of amazing. That's beautiful. Nakarashi, I do know that there is a list of past games that I could have checked, but I didn't recognize the game except for some of the music, and I was like, I must have just heard the music, that's all. Nah, we had a full match. Welcome to my life. I'm Brosentia. I'm confused. That's how we roll around here, okay? Confusion in life. But yeah, everybody is off to a pretty solid start. I think everybody has collected at least 4 of the hostages. I do see 4 on each of the screens here. Luckily, we do have a wonderful ref team that is helping out during the matches. And for this match, actually, let me go ahead and check out just to make sure I know who is here, because we have Linkura, Yoshicop X, Bees, Louise, and Hazelshade taken hostage by the Kuso, with Not Electa Labor and Sober Dwarf as the backup referees. Uh-oh, I see one name changing there. That's fine. Yeah, all of them...
As it should change.
No, Sober Dwarf... I mean, not DUI dwarf is a good thing, you know. I don't want our dwarfs getting DUIs. Bad dwarf. Okay, Bad Chop in chat is saying that they're petitioning to have my name changed from Brosentia to Brosentia. I see literally no change there. I don't know. Oh no, Specchio and Yagamoth are back to the training area. Yeah, if you get game over and continue, it sends you back to training. Just shoot the targets and you're gonna get back into it. However, Novasol said that, like, there is some, like, the continue system is dumb and basically doesn't count as continuing. And I believe that's because you lose any of the pickups that you got before hitting continue. And if that's true, yeah, it's a little bit cruel. Everybody has gone back to training, though. It's like RoboCop.
It's like 9 minutes in, and it's been game over. So that's like tame compared to, like our normal, like, Kusogrand8 stuff.
Oh, yeah, like, they actually got to play the game before getting a game over. We've had games here in Kusogrand8 where people get game over in the first 30 seconds, and like everybody gets game over in the first 30 seconds. This crew is actually a really strong set of players, though. I mean, they all took first in their first match. They have 10 points going into this round. Nobody's getting eliminated because of that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a decent amount of progress here. How much? I don't know. I think we're probably going to see at least the 3rd level, if not the 4th or the 5th, because, yeah, this game, I don't know if it necessarily gets much harder as it goes on. Like, the enemies are rude, but that's just because they walk at you. And you have to whack them, and some of them shoot, and you're not going to dodge. You're a giant mech, okay? The point of being in a giant metal robot is that you can get shot and not die.
I do want to point out that, like, according to the lore of the show, because I don't know if you talked about this after I stepped away, right, that, like, the patrol laborers, you know, like you, the Patlabor, right?
Yes.
Not really any better than all of the other, like, laborers and everything out there, right? So, unlike Gundam, which is pretty adamantly, like, you know, war is bad, this is probably adamantly, you could argue, like, police are bad, kinda, but only in that, really, the police are just inept. Like, and half the show is just dealing with, like, all of the crap they cause from, like, all the things they do.
I kind of love that. Well, good. They cause a lot of crap because they do a lot of crap. Yeah, because I live kind of in a smaller place, there's not quite as much corruption when it comes to police forces here, definitely in cities and such, but we still have our own problems with police here as well, where they just do stupid stuff because they've got, like, superiority complexes. Yeah, I've got a roommate here whose mother got arrested, and the guy's, like, drunk driving, and it's because she has a lazy eye that he was saying that. Like, she passed the breathalyzer test, but he still kept her in her car in order to get her husband to come talk to him. And yeah, her husband was not putting up with crap and not being like, oh yeah, sorry, let me go ahead and bend over backwards for you. So the guy just took her in, you know, arrested her for no reason. And yeah, she was angry. They held a backyard party, throwing axes at a flag that had the officer's name and badge number written on it. And I'm like, I never want to get on your bad side. Because, you know, if this is how you vent your frustration, I want to be your friend, because axe and dagger throwing to let out your anger about the police is really funny to me.
Have you ever gone axe throwing? It's a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, I did at their house. The great thing is that, like, the first one that she threw chopped a water line in half that they used for irrigation. Oh, yeah.
I actually appreciate something that New Hampshire does, right, in this regard, and I hope other states do it. I don't know if they do, right? So New Hampshire quarterly publishes a list, and it goes back to like 2010, I think, of all cops that have been, like, proven wrong in court or reprimanded or anything like that. So it's not obviously going to be the full sort of list, right? Because, you know, depending on where you're at, they kind of protect their own and all of that. But it is actually a really good list if you're worried, like, how corrupt is, like, my city's cops, right?
Yeah.
Like it does a pretty good job of basically laying out, like, here are all the cops, like, going back, like, 10 plus years that have, like, done stupid things in your community.
Where is this?
New Hampshire publishes the list for New Hampshire cops.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I don't know if Utah does anything like that. Utah's weird, though. Like, I don't know. We live in Bizarro Land over here.
You could look up...
Mazer is onto the first boss, by the way. Look, it's a jumping frog that shoots wheels at you. It's like Metal Man.
right? So in New Hampshire, it's called Lori's List.
Okay.
Or you could hear exculpatory evidence schedule compliance. Both of which are equally valid in...
Gotcha. Lori's List. Welcome to the Listerhood. I don't think this is the right Lori's List. There are lots of flowers. I'm gonna get into the Listerhood. Am I joining a cult, Corndan?
I don't know.
Chat, welcome to the Kusogrand8, where Corndan convinces Brosentia to join yet another cult. No, seriously, I've never heard such a terrible name for anything. Listerhood.
Well, you're like, how did you spell Lori's List? It should be L-A-U-R-I-E.
Oh, this is just L-A-U-R-I. Yeah, and it took me like, I think this is a gardening cult. Okay, I can submit an event about...
You could get group coaching with Lori.
Classical vocal pros? Wait, no, they teach you how to sing? What? Flowers don't sing? I've never met a singing flower. Okay.
So I don't know if this is anywhere outside New Hampshire, but it's in New Hampshire, right, as the result of a lawsuit.
Yeah. Good.
But so like in New Hampshire, I can go like look, right, and be like any town, like, you know, what cops concealed evidence and stuff like that.
Hey, Jackazam is on to the boss of stage 1 as well. It looks like Mazer has made it to stage 2. That is good. Jackazam unfortunately dying to the boss, gonna have to load and go back. I don't know if she has to play the whole level again. She might have to.
We're gonna find out. And Yagamoth got to the end, but didn't have all the hostages.
Yeah, you gotta get the hostages. You gotta free the hostages. You can't just, like, let them not get freed. Oh no, it is the beginning of the level. I think she has to get all of the hostages again. Oh no. Well, hey, welcome to Kusogrand8, everybody. As it turns out, when your game is too short, all you have to do is make it incredibly unforgiving when it comes to dying. Yeah, that adds playtime. Yagamoth doing the training area again, definitely getting educated on how to aim a reticule at very small targets using an NES controller. That's how you're gonna do it in real life anyway, you know, that's just reality. Jackzam eating up the 2 hostages, very nice. I do love that when you die in the game, your character comes out of the mech and runs away screaming, or at least it looks like they're screaming. They're flailing, they're doing a lot of things. Yeah, the chat's also pointing out that Yagamoth hasn't noted that when you shoot a target that has a plus on it, it actually acts as a negative. And let me tell you, I noticed those targets. I personally didn't notice that they took away score, but I don't know if you even need to do that well. Like, what does it affect? I don't know. Hey, congratulations. Here's a police baton. How about you go and whack other things? Okay, well, let me go ahead and take a look here, because there is some information in game FAQs, and this FAQ is actually organized in a way that's readable. That's very, very nice. Okay. So, gameplay, blah, blah, blah. You fight in certain areas. Okay. Start the game. Then it shows a display, but this doesn't have any information about the shooting range. Well, oh, training. Before even picking your characters, you're thrown into a shooting practice. Your aim is to shoot the targets with your crosshair and not shoot the health targets. Each correct target gives you 1 point, and the health ones subtract 1, meaning if you shot 5 regular and 4 health targets, your final score is 1. Now, training has not much to do with the gameplay later, and you only need to redo it if you are a naughty/careless police officer. New Hampshire officers, we're gonna make you play Patlabor if you keep doing this. Okay? You will never ever shoot baddies in this way, and you can even pass the first training with a 0 score. The accuracy of your crosshair is really crappy. The game also throws you random targets, so it's possible that you only get 5 targets to shoot at, with 6 to 7 health ones in a row, meaning that you cannot get a great score anyway if you get bad luck. In the end, you pass one way or another, and in the unlikely event that you score more than 10, you get a little pin as you would during the course of the game, which are as meaningful as David Clark's pin collection. Thank you for the outdated reference that I don't know. If you collect enough citations, then you'll have to return to training and earn a citation reduction. So if you just are a naughty police officer, you go back to training. Okay.
Wow. So we're just a bunch of naughty police officers?
That's what it sounds like. We're naughty. We're very naughty. You know, there are also the health packs up at the top of the screen, and I actually don't know how to use any of the health packs. Unless you select it by choosing an item, but I don't think you do. Novasol, you say that they're not health packs? What is the +3? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Help! Because I have no idea. Okay, aid boxes, these are bad. You are police and shouldn't destroy aid crates, and they will give you nothing but a citation. Destroy 5 for a new citation. You don't want citations. So if you destroy a box that has a plus on it, you can actually have to go and do training again. Okay, so up at the top, yeah, you can see they have the plus. So +3, that has been going up, and it will give them a citation up at the top right, which I believe is the piece of paper underneath what looks like a burger. Okay, the pins are earned. The pins in the game that are above the citations you earn from scoring 10+ in training, and also by defeating enough enemies on the field. They don't do anything. They're just there. The pins are just there. But the citations underneath, okay, once you have collected 3 citations, you must go to the training stage. So if they keep destroying the boxes with pluses on them, they will have to go to the shooting range over and over and over again. We're going to see them doing this a lot because it's really not obvious. What the crap? That's so funny. Corndad, I like this game.
So I appreciate, you know, when we were talking about, right, you know, some of this earlier, like inept police. I love that in the show, like everything is so kind of inept, right?
Yeah.
That they have purposely put in like all of these things. Like, we know you're going to be inept, so we're going to make it so you have to go retrain every single time.
That's so great. What's fantastic as well is that the players are going to be very much like the police in the game and have no idea why they have to go and redo the training. They're like, yeah, they said I got to do more training. I don't know why. I'm pretty good. I saved 6 hostages. And it's like, you destroyed all of the aid. You destroyed everything that the people needed. The town is in shambles. Because of you, Patlabors. Oh my gosh. And there we go. Jackazam is on Act 2 as well. Specchio and Yagamoth still on Act 1. So it's very clear that Mazre is in the lead, followed by Jackazam. Let me check just to double C. Whatever. Both Yagamoth and Specchio have collected all 6 hostages. I believe Specchio did it a little bit ahead of Yagamoth. One thing that I've noticed about Yagamoth, though, is that oftentimes he has a bit of a slower start and then really starts making progress once things click. That doesn't necessarily always happen, especially if it's not a genre that Yagamoth is super comfortable with. But since this is more of a typical platformer than anything else, I wouldn't be too surprised if he starts making a good push in the second half of this match. Oh, somebody else is saying they hope Yagamoth notices that he has a gun. I think he switched to a gun, actually. If I'm not mistaken. It's just, your gun has limited ammo, so, like, using it isn't the most practical thing. Like, not the most helpful. Pew, 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 pew. So, I wonder, once you get 3 citations, do you only go to the training area, like, once you've either died or finished the level?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Novasol in chat definitely has a better idea. Novasol played a lot of this for me. Thank you so much for helping out. Oh my gosh, Yagamoth was able to select Ota twice. Can you just select the same Patlabor for each of your lives?
I have no idea. Maybe.
Ah, apparently yes. Training stage is triggered after death or beating the level if you have 3 citations. So if you die and have 3 citations, you gotta train. If you get a game over, or if you beat the level and have 3 citations, then you gotta go train. Okay. Yeah, I love that Mazer in the top right is only breaking the boxes that have pluses on them. And those are specifically the boxes you're not supposed to break. Because welcome to video games. Yes, Specchio also going after the pluses. Obviously, you're getting items for breaking those. So, you know, like, the plus goes up. And that should be good, right? No, it's bad. It's very bad. That's kind of a jerk move in stage 1 that they literally have some of the plus boxes in the way of hostages, and if you get over to them without breaking those boxes, you basically can't make it back. You have to break 1 or 2 of them. It's just required.
And you know what? That's what makes it even more entertaining.
I love it so much! It's so good! I have a feeling like I know a lot more about this game than I ever did before because of people who have helped test it, you know, because of there's a lot more solid information on the internet these days. And also, I'm a little bit better at actually finding this information than I used to be. Oh my gosh. No, Jackazam, that's death. Do you have to go do training again? The loads between deaths are really kind of killer here. I gotta be honest. Yeah, but like, I understand. It's just it takes a lot longer than most cart-based games, and I gotta be honest, this game doesn't look fancy enough to require a disc. But maybe I'm mistaken.
So remember, there's a lot of like, there's a lot of FDS sort of stuff, right? That at the time they came out, you know, yeah, you could have put this on a bigger NES cartridge, right? In fact, like some stuff like the original Legend of Zelda was a disc game. Yeah. At first, right? Now it's a cartridge game right here in the US. So you know, there's a lot of reasons, like if you're going to do a disc system, because, you know, part of the thing is, right, this was the you know, the Famicom, right?
Okay.
So named as a family computer. It kind of, you know, part of the idea was it could have been used like, you know, like the other 8-bit computers of the time, right? Keyboard and everything to do BASIC and all of that.
Yeah.
So some of these games are on discs because, you know, once you've already committed to a disc and all of that, right? Either, you know, it's easier to do it that way, you know, and you don't know if the cartridges are big enough or anything like that, right? So why not put it on a disc? The discs were widely available, and you could do that.
Yeah. By the way, Yagamoth is on to level 2, so that is progress. Specchio onto the boss of level 1. Unfortunately, with almost no health left, Specchio really does want to use the 3-way shot. Unfortunately, Frog Metal Man takes Specchio down. I think Specchio's got it next attempt. But yeah, you're right. Part of my thinking was that, like, the FDS would act as kind of an expansion, but if you are putting games onto a floppy, floppies are a lot cheaper to make than Nintendo cartridges, and yeah, that definitely is its own advantage. So you don't necessarily expect to have something fancier on the disc system. Yeah, it also actually let a lot of people make either homebrews or other unlicensed games. There are some very questionable games on the Famicom Disk System, games that we will never have in Kusogrand8 because we would get banned on Twitch. And also because I don't want to make...
They're not explicitly banned on Twitch right now. They should be, but...
I'm relatively sure anything made by Super Pig is not allowed to be played on Twitch, okay? They're pretty explicit. Yeah, we would find a way to get them banned, like, immediately, because, yeah. It's like the PC-98.
Well, I mean, the PC-88 and the PC-98 are just such that, you know, when you let people do whatever they want, right, it turns out whatever they want involves a lot of anime boobs.
Yeah, as it turns out, when you're a kid, when you're a male kid and you're going to draw dicks, and then as soon as you have gotten old enough, you're gonna draw boobs. Like, that's the natural progression of life. You start with drawing what you know, and then you move on to drawing what you don't know.
You move on to drawing what you wish you had access to?
Yeah, I didn't really draw very many of either of those, though. I wasn't good at art, okay? Yeah, you see me sitting there drawing a dick, people are like, what is that? And if people aren't immediately offended by your dick drawing, then you've done it wrong. Yeah. It's like me trying to draw a horse. It's just not gonna look like a horse, okay? People are like, I can tell that you were trying to draw an animal of sorts, but I'm not sure what that animal is. Like, they might not even be able to identify that I was drawing a body part. You know, it's just scribbles in a notebook. Chad is saying nice giraffe. Yeah, that's basically how it would end up. Or it's like, wow, you really enjoy drawing pickles. I can definitely tell that is very specifically a pickle that would be sliced up and put on a hamburger. Good job, Rosentia. I've never seen somebody so...
Pickle?
Well, they're sure it's a pickle because it's definitely not what the other alternative. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, there's a reason I never got into art. That might be one of the main reasons. Although I do have a Wario painting sitting on my desk that I did. It's kind of hideous in some ways, but it's kind of okay in others, you know, not too bad, since I literally cannot, like, I don't know, my brain just doesn't make 2D art very well. I work a lot better in a 3D environment than 2D. Like, I can probably make a better representation of something in Blender than I can in, like, using a pen and paper or a pencil and paper. It's just that's how my brain works, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean, I kind of get it, right? Like, I'm terrible at drawing, right? But I partly want to say, you know, on my end, right, I don't, you know, normally do, like, pencil and paper drawing, right? My drawing is engineering drawings. You know, so I can do a lot better stuff in, like, CAD, right, than I ever could in anything else, including Blender. And I would probably be okay in Blender. I just don't use it enough to be like, oh yeah, this is how I want it.
Yeah. Oh, Specchio, good job earning those citations. Yagamoth just got hit by a ball. Why are they throwing around these bowling balls at this construction site? Like, that's irresponsible. Come on.
They're probably demolition balls.
Okay, but if you're constructing, you shouldn't be demolishing, okay? Those are the opposites. They're the opposites.
But you know, they're attached to cranes. Right? And sometimes cranes are around.
But you don't bring a demolition ball to a construction site. What if somebody decides to use it? That's like the stupidest thing you could have there. Oh, and apparently per Novasol, the giant bouncing demolition balls appear in a cave later on.
Then they're probably boulders. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, but context matters, everybody. Context.
So it does, right? I mean, here's the thing: when you're making a Nintendo game, right? You know, the memory for sprites and everything is very limited, right? However, one thing that you can do, right, is, you know, because the Nintendo, right, stuff is a 4-color sprite palette. You know, you can just redefine the colors as needed. So if you, for instance, Super Mario Brothers, the cloud sprites, same as the bush sprites.
Okay.
Different colors. So if I already have something that's round and everything, and everything's kind of configured to act that way already, right, with whatever logic you have, bam, wrecking balls, now a boulder.
It's true. Honestly, Corndan, like, when it comes to anything 2D with art or anything, like, if I can think of it more mathematically, like, I can do pixel art kind of okay. Like, as long as I'm not trying to recreate something that is real, then I can kind of do it okay. And I really love doing art and using, like, indexed colors so that I can change the colors on the fly. I've done a little bit of that. I've done pixel art commissions for people before, and that was fun. I've done animated icons for people. I love it. It's fun. It's just don't expect me to be able to pick up a pen or a pencil and make anything that looks like it was made by somebody older than 10. Like, but sure, I'll do pixel art. You know, it might not be the most elegant, but I did all of the art for Magpie, except for one, like, palette swap that somebody made and wanted me to put in there, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. But otherwise, I have fun. I like... If I want to make it look, like, fancy and cool, though, I've got to have somebody else do that, you know? But making it basic, I can get basic. You can be like, yeah, that is definitely a texture for grass, okay? I'm like, yeah, I got grass texture, everybody. Yeah, that's a bird. Yeah, I got a bird. Yeah, that bird's kind of bopping up and down. Yeah, bird.
Yeah, birds.
Yeah, birds. I actually, there's something that I've been talking with people about lately, because I do want to work on making another video game prototype to sort of get some ideas out there. And I want to go back to sort of this, the classic platformer style, because simply put, if you were in the Nintendo era and you put a game into your Nintendo, you were almost always playing it within 15 seconds of pushing power. You were in the game. You can't do that with Mario these days. Even, like, the most basic Mario Wonder intro is longer than the intro for OG Super Mario RPG. Like, seriously. Every freaking platformer is like, let's go ahead and give you all of this upfront cutscene lore, blah, 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 that I just want to be Mario. I want to jump around. I want to jump on things. Come on, I don't need a story. Just get me into the action or tell me the action while I'm playing. You know, like Nier Automata. As soon as I start that game, you don't bog me down with lore. You throw me right into the action, and then during the action, you give me lore. That's what I love. Come on. We need more games like that, Corndad. And I feel like there's really room to go back to that style a little bit more.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, Patlabor, yeah, okay, this wasn't the fastest to get in because you had the whole name entry, all of the loads. But as soon as the loading's done, you're playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. Right, you gotta remember, a lot of these older games and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, what I would like, you know, if you do want to have a section for people to get lore or additional cutscene, have that playing in the demo, you know. It goes to the title screen for a few seconds, and then it moves over to the demo that has some of the story, just like the older games, you know. I don't know of anything that really does that today.
I don't know.
Other than, like, ports of older games or remasters of older games, like, yeah. But anyway, that's sort of what I want to try to do at some point. Get a modern, like, platformer game that actually feels a lot closer to not necessarily Patlabor, but to other games of that era. Speaking of Patlabor, Yagamoth made it to boss number 2. This puts Yagamoth in a solid second place. We've had another player, Mazre, get there. Our player in the top right. Yagamoth, though, that is the first time Jakazam has managed to collect 8 hostages, actually has them right now. If she can get to the boss, look at all of the energy she has. She has 8 hits that she can take. I mean, technically 7 hits, and the 8th one, that's death. Okay, yeah, you better break these apart and get those citations. Cortana, I love this!
Oh, well, so it's like 6 boxes to get a citation.
Yeah, but there were 8 together. There were 8 right there.
But she didn't need to break any of them.
Yeah, in fact, breaking them is a disadvantage rather than an advantage, because if she breaks more, she's gonna have to go do training after this level. And that's part of what makes this game perfect. Yeah, as Novasol points out, none of them had health, and it seems like most of the boxes that you're not supposed to break have no collectibles. They only add to the plus symbol up at the top, and I have a feeling whoever we interview after this match is going to ask us, what are those plus symbols? And when we tell them that they're bad, that you don't want to earn them, they're going to think it's so stupid, because it is.
Of course they are, because it is. But it very much fits within the line of, like, the show, of, like, them just screwing it up.
Yeah, do you think knowing the show at all is an advantage for this match?
Not a chance.
Perfect. That's what I love to hear. Okay, Jakazam fighting boss number 2 using the gun, and that's probably a decent idea here. I mean, considering it's a frog boss on top of buildings. Unfortunately, your bullets only go so far. As, you know, we all know bullets only go about 10 feet and then can't hit anything.
True.
You know, that's the classic gun thing. That's just how guns work. Note, everybody, that's not how guns work. Yeah, bullets, as it turns out, especially anything that's not a shotgun, yeah, you don't want it to hit what you aren't aiming at. Because if it does, it's gonna cause damage that you didn't want to have happen. Yeah. Chad is pointing out that 3 people have made it to the same boss indeed. Jakazam actually was not too far away from killing the boss. However, it's difficult to say exactly because you can't actually see the boss health in this game. Because that the tiebreaker is based off of who got to the boss first. I still feel like at least 1, maybe 2 of the players will kill the boss. I expect us to see stage 3 before we run out of time.
Oh, I'm certain of it.
Yeah, I say that not because I've ever seen stage 3 before in a match, but because these are 10-point players, I expect them to beat my expectations, which expectation is generally level 2 for this. So getting to level 3 is them beating my general expectations, which I expect them to beat my expectations. That sounds like an impossible task. How can you beat unbeatable expectations?
Because you can.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Corndan.
Look, I live with an 8-year-old.
Mazer.
I know how this goes.
Monster at the top right did it. He's through. He's moving on to the next area. Act 3. JK, it's time to go back to training because there were too many citations.
Well, yeah.
I love this. I love it so much. Yeah, and honestly, like, this game is pretty good. I understand why it never came out in the US. Like, if it's based off of an anime, and anybody watching this would be like, okay, generic Gundam, or generic kind of Transformer, that's the best thing that we had to compare it to back then. You know, oh no, it's a person in a giant mech. Like, we haven't seen a billion of those. We don't care about that anime.
It's a bunch of idiots and giant mechs, more or less. This Patlabor.
Yeah, and maybe we would find it endearing if we knew it was a bunch of idiots in mechs, but we didn't.
My very favorite thing with the show, right?
Yeah.
The show's pretty well beloved. That in the early 2000s, right? They did like a 3-show like explainer series essentially about Patlabor, right? That has the coolest animation I think I've seen. Right? They made the whole thing as if it were a puppet show, like an animated like puppet show where like the Patlabors are on sticks and everything, right?
Okay.
And this, like, the show's like, each episode's like 10 or 15 minutes, right? They're not super long, and it's just to explain like Patlabor for like, you know, people who've never really seen it before, right? And it talks about like, here's what a labor is, and like, here are the weapons and all of this, right? And it is absolutely amazing.
That sounds great. I'd like to see that sometime. That would be amazing. I love that Specchio has given up on all of the boxes except for the ones with pluses on them, the ones that you specifically are not supposed to break.
I appreciate that.
I love it. Like, that's one of the elements of video game design that you would think, you know, people who read the manual would know, but you had to have the manual to know it, and if you didn't, there's no way. It just doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. It's a stupid idea. And that's why it's perfect. This is Kusogrand8. We aren't here in good video game. You know, we're bad video games. Come on.
You know, this is not a good game.
Yeah. And by the way, chat, I would say that I normally would give a manual. The manual's in Japanese. I'm not giving them a Japanese manual, and I'm not going to have Google translate it. I'll just let them figure out how to play this.
That's been entertaining.
I mean, I've read some Google translations on the stream before. It's always a good time.
Right? Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh, chat, you think that it's funny to give them a Japanese manual? I don't. Because
it depends on the game. I think
no,
so.
there are people who read Japanese. Yagamoth has lived in Japan. Like, that would be that's something that I like to keep in mind as well. If there is a game that somebody would have a significant advantage because they know the language, I do not want to risk that. And, you know, if it didn't come out in English, then I don't want to give them something that's in another language, you know?
Well, that's why you give them the Google translated version.
Honestly, only
Then
giving them
English.
the Google translated version might have been doable, but there's also the fact that everybody has different levels of English skills. Not everybody is a native English speaker, so anybody who has a little bit more of the language barrier, who has to deal with terribly translated English, that's just like triple a problem. I like the idea, Corndan, okay? I think I can workshop this, and maybe for specific groups it would work completely fine, but I'll go ahead and say I'm fine that I didn't do that. I give my permission to not give them horribly googly translated stuff.
I'm just saying.
Hey, Jackazam, on to the boss of stage 2 as well. Honestly, Jackazam has a great chance to move up into second place. And there we go. The boss is dead. Jackazam moving on to stage 3. Yeah, Mazre is already there going through the forest, and per Novasol, who was our main tester for this match, this level is a significant step up in difficulty. Oh, wait, never mind. Training area first. Yeah, we gotta train. Too many citations, Jackazam!
Too many citations.
You know, that's also kind of like... Maybe that's the Patlabor style. You expect your officers to not do certain things, but you don't tell them that, and then you punish them anyway. I mean, that sounds like the average work environment in these years. You know, yeah. Why not punish people for unsaid expectations?
I mean, isn't that how the workforce is?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. It's unfortunate. I really try not to do that. I try to make sure it's really difficult though, because sometimes, like, if you are managing things, even with volunteers and stuff, it's really easy to think, oh yeah, this is how I've always done things, and it's especially if you've done something for a long time, it's easy to forget that new people haven't done that. And there's some people who are going to pick up on the unsaid stuff very quickly, and then people who don't. And while I appreciate the people who do pick up on it very quickly, it still is one of those things that it's like, I better give people a benefit of a doubt, okay? I'm going to try. I'm going to try to give benefit of a doubt. Because, you know, those boxes with the pluses on them, you'd think that you want to break them and get the stuff inside, you know?
Right.
But no, you have to go through extra training every time that you do that, and nobody tells you that that's why. Nobody tells you. They keep punishing you, and you don't know why you're being punished, and honestly, you don't even know that it is a punishment. They're just sending you through additional training. If you're punishing somebody, let them know it's a punishment. The end!
I mean...
Also, I enjoy that Chad is blaming you for giving this out, Corndan. I like that. Keep blaming Corndan, everybody. This is fun. I'm gonna get in trouble, aren't I?
Well, I mean, not necessarily, but...
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Right, I mean, let's be honest, this is the sort of thing I would do, but I think I would have, like, at least pulled out from, like, the game FAQs or something like, don't do these dumb things.
Yeah, but...
However, right, I mean, you know, let me drop in chat, right, the important quote here.
You can find the manual, so A does stuff, B does the other stuff, and, well, you're not sure what L and R do. Yeah, that's very classic.
That's true. Yeah, and that was true for that particular game. I have looked for a manual since for that particular game. I still can't find it. like you can find it if I want to pay like $5 on eBay.
That frustrates me so much that, like, yeah, I understand that people might want to collect manuals and such for their own collection, but they have information that needs to be preserved, you know? Some of these games don't make a lot of sense, and the manual helps explain some of that. Like, if anybody here has a manual that hasn't ever been uploaded to the internet, save us. Upload it. Get it online somewhere, okay? Video game preservation and information preservation is really important. Even if it's like, look, the manual says nothing about the game, I still want it.
I am not gonna go buy a copy of Ozzy and Drix just to have the manual so we can invalidate that quote. I'm still not gonna find the manual, so A's still gonna jump, B does the other stuff. And since that quote was done, I do know what L does.
Oh,
L
really?
beeps the horn.
It beeps the horn. Oh, I like that.
So it doesn't do anything like worthwhile.
All right, Jackzam, moving on to the next loading area. Yagamoth has a potential to move to Act 3, but he would have to have a good push in order to actually pass Jackzam at this point. Right now, it's Mazri in the top right who has collected 6 hostages. Saxazam, what am I even saying? Jackazam has collected 1 in Stage 3. Yagamoth on the boss of Stage 2. Unfortunately, he has 3 citations. He will have to do training even if he beats this boss with 1 energy left. Honestly,
that's how it goes.
And there we go. Yagamoth dead again. I don't think there is going to be any swap between third and second. Specchio,
I'm not even sure there's going to be second and first. I think we're basically set.
We're pretty much locked, yeah. Like, Stage 3 has 8 hostages, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see what the refs wrote down. Yeah, 8 hostages, and Mazri has collected 6 of them. Jackzam would need to find 6 hostages in the next...
in like a minute.
Minute, yeah. I don't know if that's impossible. It's just a lot of work.
It might be impossible. I don't know how long the stage is.
They're barely even hostages. They even have supplies.
You know, like I didn't check the long play. I'm just showing up here being dumb, you know?
I like it. Be dumb. Okay, Jackzam trying to find a health refill. She doesn't want to walk into that grenade and blow up, but she did. Oh, no!
I have been walking into... Since the TV show came out, I've gone back to start playing Fallout.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many landmines I've walked into in the past 2 days.
Are you... original Fallout?
So I'm playing Fallout New Vegas, but I have all of them. I have Fallout 1 all the way through Fallout 76. right? With like Brotherhood of Steel and all of that. Like, I love the Fallout universe. I think it's a super interesting, you know, take. Like, yeah, it's basically, you know, Skyrim with guns, kind of, right?
Oh yeah.
But like, there's something compelling to me, more compelling to me about Fallout than there is about the Elder Scrolls, and I think it's all about the world and the history that goes with it.
Well, speaking of history, this match is history. That is time, everybody. Patlabor, all of these patrol labors have gone out and tried their best, and the most successful that we had was indeed Mazre in the top right. Jakazam coming in second, Yagamoth in third, and Specchio in fourth. Again, this was a 10-point match, and we had some super strong players. All of them did fantastic. Now let me go ahead and check in with the players and see if we can have Mazre come and join us. Because I would love to talk about the experience with this game. We're gonna have a little yelling, I think.
I'm waiting to talk about the citations.
Oh yeah, citations. Yeah, Yagamoth's like, I would love to know what the plus was for.
Well, when Mazre gets in here, let's talk about it.
Yeah, I would love it. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and let them know the order that we have listed here. Here's the order, my friends, because it is Mazre, followed by Jakazam, Yagamoth, and Specchio. Of course, even though I say these things out loud, if for some reason there is a technicality that needs changed, then we do change that. If there's not a technicality, then it stays in that order. But we always listen to our referees because they have volunteered to help make sure that we are correct and following the correct procedure. And here we are with our victor. Hello there, and congratulations. You labored like a pat. You are the Patlabor, Mazre. Are you there? I see that you unmuted yourself. Oh, mic problems. We can talk crap about you then.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Yeah, crap. No, for real. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, as soon as it gets working, feel free to interrupt me. I know everybody in the group is wondering what those pluses meant.
Hello?
Oh, hello. Yes, I hear you.
All right. Hey there.
Hey there. Yeah, congratulations. You managed to make it to stage 3, the earliest. Only Jakazam made it there as well. You collected 6 of the hostages there. Jakazam at the end had a good push, but only got 3 of them. Like, seriously, you were pretty much in the lead the entire time, so great job here.
I'm very surprised.
Yeah,
very,
so
very surprised.
what are your thoughts about Patlabor?
The core gameplay is pretty solid. The hit detection is a little iffy at times, especially when you're trying to whack people with your giant stun baton. But you know, aside from that, and I guess the enemy aggression levels were very random. Sometimes they wouldn't do much of anything, and other times they would, you know, not stop.
Okay.
And I think the biggest problems was the little hoppy guys that look like what is it, Miracle Rocket? The you know, they just moved around a bunch and were very hard to hit, and was basically, you know, most times if they were on the screen, I just wanted to be moving away from them.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think that you're talking about the enemies that look like the frogs in Shadow Man stage on Mega Man 3.
Maybe the fleas from Symphony of the Night, or the Fleamen.
Oh yeah, those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you got to deal with that crap. And honestly, the enemy movement, like, at least it's consistent, but it's consistently very annoying and very hard to deal with. So I have to ask because there obviously was the giant plus symbol at the top of the screen with the number next to it, and the boxes that had the pluses on them.
Right.
Have any idea what those are?
No, none of my theories worked out in any capacity. I thought at first maybe if you collect 5 and it resets, you got a heal, but that wasn't it.
Okay.
I thought maybe that caused the big heal to spawn, but again, that didn't seem to be any consistency or anything like that. I could not come up with what it actually did.
Okay.
So
let's enlighten you.
Yeah, so right, I want to point out that you might not know, right, that the show Patlabor is about the Tokyo police, right? You are a cop, and you just destroyed a lot of aid boxes for people, and every 6 of them that you destroy, basically you got reported and got a citation for it. And if you got 3 citations, you had to go do retraining.
So actually, you were not supposed to break those boxes. Most of them did not have any positive resources in them, which wasn't super obvious. But yeah, it essentially was punishing you every time that you did that.
That's really amazing.
So one of the things about the show, right, is they go on basically about how this Patlabor squadron's pretty inept, right? Half the show is basically fixing the problems they themselves cause. So congratulations, because you weren't really told about this and just went and did things, you legitimately were the problem here.
I loved it so much. I honestly didn't know the function until we were looking at some of the documents and found out, oh yeah, that is a big troll. Oh, the things that look like they're supposed to get, they're specifically not supposed to get. Okay. And yeah, nobody figured it out. I loved it. So there was that. I think that was the biggest troll. The other pickups actually seemed to make a lot more sense, thank goodness. But yeah, now that you know that, how do you feel about the game pulling that and having them as plus symbols for you?
I mean, that's really wild. It's a fairly unique mechanic that I don't think I've seen since or heard of anything like it before. So that's a good time.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's so funny to me. With that said, Corn Dan knew a lot about the series and actually had some insights that helped contribute to some of the silliness that we saw on screen and some of the, and knowing the show, you might be able to figure out a little bit that, you're destroying resources because you're bad cops and you're going to be punished for it. But none of you knew the show as far as I was aware, and nobody figured that out. It was great. And I saw, even at the end of the match, people still specifically not breaking any of the boxes that you can break, and instead only breaking the boxes that you shouldn't break.
It's very, very gamer psychology there that it kind of picks at it.
Yeah, because they look like they're health crates.
Right, exactly.
Why wouldn't I want health crates? I keep getting beat up.
Yeah, well, perfect. I gotta ask, are you doing anything on stream these days? And if not, are you playing anything offline that has been fun that people should know about?
Been playing Tunnel Belotro, almost done with all the challenge sets there.
Oh, sweet.
And started up Eiyuden recently, the Suikoden kind of spiritual successor. So that's been a lot of fun too.
So much.
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah, it's an absolute love letter to the series. It's great.
Aw, that's great.
I mean, the answer is if you like Suikoden 1 and 2, you're gonna absolutely love this game.
Well, I've never played those, so I would probably have to play them in order to know if I would like it. Yeah. But with that said, I'm glad that people are excited and really enjoying it. I'm glad. It's always good to hear especially when it's a bit of a smaller niche. It's something that I'm not very aware of, and it's outside of my circle of knowledge, but it still makes me super happy when they're able to make you happy. Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much. Go enjoy your video games. Go enjoy Balatro and, Eiyuden Chronicle. And Corndan, thank you as well for coming and hosting with me. It has been a blast, both of you.
I mean, I was just here to be an idiot, so...
Yeah, you didn't do a very good job with that. We learned a lot about the game.
Yeah, I did. If we didn't learn anything about the game, I could tell you about the show. That was about it.
Well, that helped me understand the game. Whatever. Wow, Corndan was trying to be an idiot here and unfortunately helped us learn stuff. I can't believe it. Corndan. All right, I got to kick both of you out. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Saturday.
Bye.
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 Well, everybody, I'm going to run a quick ad. Go ahead and stand up, stretch your legs, grab some water, and we'll be back in a couple minutes.